Friends, today we are going to listen to another beautiful story of Beauty and the Beast. So let's start. Once upon a time, there was a merchant who had 3 beautiful daughters. The 2 eldest daughters cared only for the fine dresses and jewelry. But the youngest, who was called Beauty, had a very kind and gentle heart and was specially loved by her father. One day the merchant was going off on a very long journey. So he asked his daughters what they would like him to bring for them when he comes home. "Oh, I would like a fine emerald necklace," said the eldest. "And I would like a pearl necklace, father," cried the second. Beauty, the youngest one, said, "Father, I would like you to bring yourself home as soon as possible. And if you can find one, I would like a white rose." The 2 sisters made fun of Beauty for asking their father to bring her a rose. "Ha ha 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 ha! Oh, Beauty, what did you ask for? A white rose? You have lots of roses at home in our garden." But Beauty said, "Oh, we do have roses, but not the white one." And she wondered why my sisters want jewelry when they have got so much more at home with them. The merchant did not forget his daughter's wishes, and before returning home, he bought an emerald necklace and a pearl necklace. But nowhere could he find a white rose for Beauty because it was winter and snow was falling as the merchant was coming nearer to his home. He missed his way in the snowstorm and could not tell where he was. And just as he was about to turn around, he saw lights ahead and soon found himself in the door of a great castle. He fervently hoped that they would offer him shelter for the night. And as he went to knock on the door, he saw that it was open. Not a servant was in sight, so he went inside. In the great hall, he found a splendid supper laid out. He sat down and enjoyed the feast. In the corner of the hall was an open door, and when he looked inside, he saw a bedroom that looked as if it had been prepared for him. The poor merchant was very tired, so he went to the bed and slept soundly. In the morning, a fine suit had been laid out for him to wear, and a hearty breakfast awaited him in the hall. He wore the fine suit that was laid out for him, and afterwards he ate the breakfast. He would have dearly liked to thank his kind host, but still the merchant saw no one. And as he walked through the garden on his way to the stable to collect his horse, he spied a beautiful white rose bush, which was covered with white blooms. Thinking his youngest daughter's wishes and her request, he reached out and picked a single rose. As soon as he plucked the rose, a terrible roar sounded from the bushes and a huge, ugly beast sprang out.
"Who is stealing my white rose?"
he growled. The poor merchant started trembling and could barely speak. I did not mean to steal. My daughter begged me to bring a white rose, and this is the only one that I have seen so far."
"This is also my favorite rose, and anyone who touches it must die,"
said the beast.
"But I will let you go if you promise to bring me the first thing that runs to meet you when you get home."
The merchant agreed, and as he made his journey to home, he hoped that it might be the cat that came to meet him and not his beloved dog or his daughters. But as he approached the house, it was his little daughter Beauty who rushed to hug him. He turned so pale that when she saw her father, Beauty thought he must be very sick. He gave her the white rose and took her hand. He told her all that had happened to him and promised that he had made to the beast. "But I will never give you up, Beauty." But Beauty said, "You must keep your promise, father. Perhaps he will not hurt me." So they prepared to return to the castle. They rode silently through the forest, for they were too sad to speak. At the castle they found the front door open and a meal laid out in the great hall. Only this time the table was set for 2. They sat down, but Beauty and her father could not eat. Then at 9 o'clock they heard a great roar and the beast appeared. The beast spoke gently to them, saying to the merchant,
You must stay here tonight, but tomorrow you must go home and leave Beauty behind. Do not worry about her. She will have all that she could wish for.
The father stayed the night with her daughter, and in the morning, father and daughter parted with great sadness. Both of them cried little bit. But Beauty soon became very contented with her life in the castle. Her room was very pretty with roses outside her window, and on a table stood a mirror where in the golden letters were written the words, See your wishes here enshrined. What you long for you will find. Oh, I'll be able to wish myself home whenever I am unhappy, said Beauty to herself. And she often looked into the mirror to see what was happening to her father and sisters at home. For she spent every day amusing herself and saw no one until the evening when the beast would join her for supper. After they had eaten dinner, Beauty would sing to the beast. One night he asked her,
Do you think I am very ugly?
He sounded so very sad that Beauty found it very hard to answer him. She said, Oh, you may be really very ugly, but in reality you have a very kind face. A single tear ran down the beast's cheek, and Beauty felt so sorry for him. I do like you very, very much, she assured him,
Then would you please marry me, Beauty?
said the beast. Oh no, I could never marry a beast. Beauty started sobbing. She went to bed very sad, and looking into the magic mirror, she asked to see her family again. The mirror showed her a picture of her old home, and in the corner, Beauty saw her dear father lying ill in the bed. She got very worried. Next morning, Beauty could neither play nor work, and she could only wait until supper time, when she could ask the beast if he would allow her to go home and see her father who was not well. The beast said,
If you go, you will never come back to me again.
Oh, I promise you, I will come back in a week, dear beast. Please let me go, Beauty pleaded.
Oh, very well. You may go, but take this ring with you. And if you ever want to come back, put it on your finger when you go off to sleep. And in the morning, you will find yourself here in the castle in your own room.
That night, Beauty looked into the magic mirror and wished herself home. She fell asleep on her bed, tightly clutching the ring. And when she woke up, she was in her father's house. He wept with joy to see his little Beauty again and began to get well. At the end of the week, Beauty could not bear to leave her father, so she broke her promise to the beast and stayed another week. At the end of the week, Beauty could not bear to leave her father, so she broke her promise to the beast and stayed back another week. But one night she had a very strange dream. She dreamt that she was back in Beast's garden, wandering about. As she came to the white rose bush, she found the poor beast lying on the ground, and he looked as if he were dying. As she ran towards him, he cried out, Oh, Beauty, you have broken my heart, and I shall die without you. Beauty woke up with a start, and so longed to see her dear beast again, that she reached out for the magic ring and slipped it on her finger. When next she woke, she found herself back in a pretty room in the beast's castle, just as he had told her she would. Remembering her dream, Beauty quickly ran out into the garden to see if he was there. When she reached the white rose bush, she found the beast lying so stiff and quiet. She thought that he was dead. She started crying, Oh, my dear beast, please don't die, for I have come back to take care of you and I'll marry you, for I love you with all my heart. Please don't die, she cried as she threw her arms around his neck. She then put her head in her hands and wept. She cried, and when she finally stopped and stood up, she could not see the beast. Instead, through her tears, she could only see a handsome young prince beside her. Who are you? And what have you done with my beast? Asked Beauty. Do you not know me, dear Beauty? Said the prince. I am the beast you loved and to whom you gave your life and happiness. Long time back, a witch had cast an evil spell over me, so I took the form of an ugly beast, and nothing could set me free until a beautiful girl loved me and promised to marry me. And here you are. You love me, and you have promised to marry me, so I have turned back into the prince. Together they went to the magic mirror, and when Beauty looked in the mirror, she saw her father living for the rest of his days in the castle with her. And when the prince looked at the mirror, he saw a wedding with Beauty as his bride, carrying a bouquet of white roses. Their wishes came true and they lived happily ever after. How was the story, friends? Do like, comment and share. And if your subscription button is still red, press it and make it grey and get subscribed. See you next with another interesting story.